Hello, viewers. Blizzard has done the unthinkable. And just, they have done it in a way that it's such a greedy corporation thing to do. They have shut down Nostalrius. Look at the power Nostalrius has over Blizzard. There's not much power. The only advantage they have is noticing what players used to love. Okay? What players have always loved about World of Warcraft. I do not condone using private servers. Honestly, I have played Nostalrius. Not that much, but I can see why so many people liked it, okay? The only reason I didn't play it that much is because I have a lot going on. I have maybe 20 or so hours on Nostalrius. I have a lot more time in the official World of Warcraft. But what Blizzard has done, I don't understand. I understand them shutting down a private server. I mean, private servers are illegal. They are, they're breaking copyright. To me, it seems like a very, very desperate thing for Blizzard to do. What instead of going the route of saying, "Hey, look at what Nostalrius has achieved. Look at what Nostalrius has, accomplished." They have over 150,000 subscribers, or not subscribers, but player base. That's a large number for a private server. I mean, that's a huge achievement. So, let's say they do. Let's say Blizzard shuts down Nostalrius, which they're in the process of doing. To me, it seems like a desperate attempt for them to gain subscribers. A temporary amount of subscribers, because you shut down Nostalrius, people won't have original WoW to play. They're gonna hop back over. Well, some of them, maybe let's be nice and say 30%, okay, of the people who weren't subscribed to the official World of Warcraft but played Nostalrius. Only 30%. Okay? Probably a lot less realistically, because they're going to be outraged. They're going to be like, well, I don't think Blizzard deserves my service now. At this point in time, I don't think I'll ever, I hate the company enough to just not want to play their game anymore. But instead of, shutting down Nostalrius and suing, which is what they're trying to do, which is what Blizzard's trying to do, you're suing this small establishment, this small community of this small organization of people that, to what it is now. Instead of suing, instead of doing such what a greedy corporation would do, which is what Blizzard is now, since Blizzard was acquired by Activision. Activision bought out a ton of their stocks. They basically own Blizzard now. Instead of suing them, why not hire them? They've obviously shown commitment for a very, very small amount of profit, if any at all. So why not hire them? They show passion, they show commitment. I mean, this is what game developers want. So why not hire them? And why not incorporate their successful ideas into the official World of Warcraft game? Why not open a classic World of Warcraft server for the fans to enjoy? Okay? I mean, this is a game company we're talking about. I'm sure they have tons of backed up patches and iterations of World of Warcraft on their computers. And let's assume that Activision is entirely in this for profit. They're using these companies such as Bungie or Blizzard to just rack in profit. They don't care about the game. they give these companies a due date, and they limit them on what they can do with their budget, which I'm assuming is what's happening. And from a marketing standpoint, would it not be an amazing idea to release older content as an optional feature for the game? In, vanilla World of Warcraft, it peaked at around 8 million total subscribers by the end of vanilla and the beginning of Burning Crusade. At the end of the Burning Crusade, it peaked upwards of around, let's say, 11.5 million or 11 million. That's a lot of people. Okay, in Wrath of the Lich King, it peaked at around 11.5 million. Wrath of the Lich King was the most successful because it was the most steady and maintained, and not only maintained, but increased subscriber rate throughout, the expansion. Obviously the Burning Crusade did that, but they didn't start with such high numbers. In Cataclysm, they had a good launch, but people realized, hey, there's a huge lack of content. The rating was subpar, and, it was a terrible experience. The leveling was utter crap. Look at Mist of Pandaria, Obviously, it rose a little bit when the expansion hit. In my honest opinion, I don't think Mist of Pandaria rating was that bad. I thought the rating was fine, but it drug on. And patch 5.4 was, I think, over a year. Like, it lasted over an entire year for one patch, for one major patch, which was Siege of Orgrimmar. Don't get me wrong, I think it was a great patch. But it lasted too long, and people lost interest. And Warlords of Draenor, possibly one of the biggest quick increases in World of Warcraft, peaked at almost 10 million subscribers for the launch of World of Warcraft. This is huge, but look at the dip. Look at where Blizzard went wrong. Within only months, these people realized how terrible the content was, or how lackluster it was, and how terrible garrisons were, obviously. And, around, by late 2015, Blizzard realized, hey, this is doing horrible. Maybe we shouldn't release subscriber numbers. This is embarrassing. It has dropped down to 5.6 million. That's going to be the last, numbers release that we're going to, give to the public. And it hasn't been 5.6 million since vanilla World of Warcraft. And vanilla was the start. Before people had amped up computers, and, gaming on the PC was kind of a big thing, but not really, and a lot of people didn't game at the time. But a lot of people were playing console, but, this MMO, World of Warcraft, was revolutionary. And it's a shame, it's a shame that, this far in to development of World of Warcraft, and it's, as technology and as possibility increases for World of Warcraft, it goes down. Why is that? Because Blizzard has not been incorporating their ideas or the ideas from the community very well. I mean, they have been giving promises. They've been given promises for, content, let's say at BlizzCon or at the reveal of an expansion, but then they scrap them. They're lazy. I don't know how to express it. The only excuse I have to give for them is they're working on Legion, which we can all only assume is going to be hopefully good. but most people would say it's probably going to flop. I think it looks amazing. I thought Warlords of Draenor looked amazing, but it's just, I got tired of orcs, honestly. But it did look like a good expansion. But people realized how, lackluster it was. If I were in it for the business of gaining money, I wouldn't limit the creativity and passion for game companies such as Blizzard to create their games. I think passion and creativity for the most part is what makes a game good. But that said, I'm talking about Nostalrius having been closed. Just why not incorporate their ideas into the game? It's such a simple concept. I'm sure they have all this backed up on their computer, as I said earlier. Why not just release it on a separate server? It won't require much. What it will require is maybe some server maintenance. But what I'm getting at is, I'm just not understanding what's going on in the minds of Blizzard. I'm sure they know what they're doing. Maybe they have this grand scheme. Maybe when the movie releases, they're going to start releasing a bunch of content soon afterwards for Legion. And maybe things will pick up. One can only hope. And maybe we'll just forget about, this entire fiasco, this entire just depression of World of Warcraft. But what I think made World of Warcraft so appealing, or vanilla World of Warcraft so appealing to people, is the fact that it was difficult whenever you level. You had to. You don't just automatically unlock your abilities. You had to grind for gold, or every little creature that you would kill, you would have to collect their whatever they dropped, and then vendor. There were flaws with original World of Warcraft, but these flaws just kind of made the game just a little bit more engaging. People had to look things up. Everything wasn't just taught to them, which is fine. I think it's good for a game to have a tutorial or any sort of help structure in the game. But that's not one of my main critiques on official WoW. But Nostalrius or vanilla World of Warcraft, it was just a challenge. This was when guilds were relevant, and they were relevant up till about, for the most part, up till about Wrath of the Lich King. Because, the content was hard. The content was very, it required teamwork. You couldn't just solo queue, just spam DPS, or just tank normally. It required strategy. It required resistance gear, which I have no clue why they got rid of. It required potions and every little thing to down a boss or to achieve something. And it was a very punishing game. Yeah, it wasn't anything like Dark Souls to where you would die and you'd lose your progress or your stuff. But as a lot of people are saying, World of Warcraft is becoming a very single player game, which I don't understand. That doesn't fall under the category of an MMO. The questing is fine. I think questing is fine for single player and all of that. But also just mobs in general in the open world are far too easy to kill. It just makes leveling boring. It doesn't make it a challenge. And I think something that they could fix easily is to, without changing much mechanics, is to just, if you were to play PvE in the open world, as like leveling, just an easy fix would be to increase damage percentage, taken, and decreased damage percentage done by maybe 50% or something like that, which you might think is overkill. But if you were to play original World of Warcraft, you would see that that's how it originally was, and that would make heirlooms a lot less powerful, a lot less. You would still have the experience boost, but it won't be as easy. And with professions, I see how irrelevant they are nowadays. I play vanilla WoW, and then I realize, how helpful and advantageous they are for the leveling experience and throughout endgame. But now it's just an optional feature. It's just this side thing that you can do, but it's not that appealing. And last but not least, one thing I wanted to address to the community, and it has been sort of a plague on the forums, on the Battle.net forums. And, a lot of people have been trying to support the opening of classic servers in World of Warcraft, and obviously, that's not on Blizzard's agenda, which I understand. But, at the current state of World of Warcraft, it should be, or something needs to happen. A lot of community members are outraged at the closing of Nostalrius, or them shutting them down. And I understand that completely. But another half of the other half of the community is they've I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone, but they're kind of kiss asses. They are they're just, everything Blizzard says or tries to convey is supported for little to no real reason by the community. They're saying, and the community will give reasons as to, like, they'll say, oh, well, it's Blizzard's game. It's they can do whatever they want. They said they won't release private servers, and that's not what they're gonna do. They're not gonna release them. But I just want to ask these people, or I want to ask you guys, if you were one of these people, if you were in their position, what would you do? Would that not be on your list? Would that not be on your agenda? And also, if Blizzard were to shut down World of Warcraft, would you be okay with that? Would you be like, oh, well, it's their game, I think that's fine, they can do whatever they want with it? No. You would say, no, this is ridiculous. I'm not defending all the people that put in a lot of hard work, leveling their characters in Nostalrius and stuff. It's a shame that it was shut down, but, like, the fact that nothing's being done about this, they're just shutting them down, they're suing them, but there's no... If I were a developer, or not a developer, but if I were one of the team that worked or helped, bring back up Nostalrius, I would, and we were being shut down, I would still be happy if Blizzard had shut us down, but incorporated our intent into, like, World of Warcraft, our ideas into World of Warcraft, or not really ideas, but just bringing back what people loved. So if that would be still a win for them, if Blizzard had if Blizzard considers it. And but no, what Blizzard is doing, they're just basically they're silencing the community. They're deleting threads without response, and they're not being a part of discussion. And I'm curious as to what's going on in their minds. I don't understand. And I'm hoping some of you guys can just give your honest opinion about what's been happening lately in terms of the lack of content and, them closing Nostalrius. So, yeah, just comment below. Thanks.